That was Arthur thumping. Good morning, everyone. This is Stephanie from Razzle Dazzle Rabbitry Yarns LLC. And this morning, it's cold, it's chilly, it's Sunday morning. This is a bonus video because we're going to show you how we find pinecone treats for our rabbits on our property. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And we're just going to take a walk. As you can see, this is the back of the rabbitry. And right here, we have a whole line of pine trees. So right now, if we focus on the ground is quite hard. But there are all sorts of pine cones littering the ground. Some are closed. If I turn it over, you can see the frost on this pine cone. One side that was touching the ground is frosty. One side is not. Some pine cones are a little bit more open. This one's quite a bit more open. We usually select the pine cones that are opening up. And the thing about pine cones is pine cones inside, if this camera will focus, inside in here they contain these little leaves, and that's where the seeds are for the pine cones. All of that is safe for the rabbits to chew on, safe for the rabbits to eat. What we don't feed too much of are the actual sticks. You can see the ground has the pine tree sticks. The ground also has just different pine needles that have fallen down. Some of the pine cones are very small, not opened. We don't usually feed our rabbits these pine cones. If they're opened up, it's great to feed the rabbits. Some of the pine cones are different in color. You'll notice this one is a younger, less mature pine cone. This one is a bit of an older pine cone. When you have the less mature pine cones, you might notice they have a bit more sap. They're going to have a bit more moisture in them. We don't often feed too many of the super young pine cones. And if you go online, something to consider is there's a lot of conflicting information about whether or not you can feed your rabbits pine needles, whether you can feed your rabbits pine sticks. If we choose to feed our rabbits the pine sticks, we're really looking, we're going to take a walk across the ground, and we're really looking for a certain type of stick. So this is the type of stick that we would look for. If you notice, this really doesn't have a lot of bark on it. This is quite old. It's going to be a very dry stick. So if we had to feed something to our rabbits for them to chew on, then this stick in extremely low amounts is what we would feed. And something like this, again, we just don't feed. There's better options, better sticks for us, better things for us to feed our rabbits for them to chew on. So as you can see, the snow has melted. It's a great time to go, and we call it pinecone hunting. The benefit of choosing something like this for your rabbits is this is free. And if you have it on your property, you don't have to pay for treats. You don't have to pay for toys. Lines and lines of pine cones. And there's a benefit, I think, to us as humans. Being able to get out of the house, being able to get away from a screen, being able to get outside and find something that you don't have to go to a store for, especially now, and to be able to go outside and find it for your rabbit and give them something they enjoy is really a fun thing. So as you can see, we have a ton of pine cones. Usually we'll just take a cardboard box and put the pine cones in there. Let's walk and say hello to the bunnies. Ah, here's a great example. These are still on the branch. These pine cones are going to have a bit more, you can just see a bit more sap on them. And that's the type of pine cone that we avoid with the rabbits. We don't want a lot of pine pitch on our pine cones because it gets stuck to their wall. And when you're raising angora rabbits, or any rabbit for that matter, you don't want a lot of pitch because it's sticky. So here we have Carl. We open the latch, stick some pine cones in there for him. Now, how do pine cones look after you give them to the rabbit? This is one of Carl's pine cones. As you can see, it's been eaten up quite a bit. This is how a pine cone looks after a rabbit's gotten a hold of it. And you can see Carl, he was just chewing on a pine cone. So we'll close up Carl's pen. And we'll move on. We have Harriet. Some rabbits like pine cones more than others. Harriet has quite a few pine cones here that she hasn't done too much with. And then we have Mariah Carey and we have Claire. They have quite a few pine cones, they're very curious rabbits. They have quite a few pine cones right here. Looks like a little bit of chewing on these pine cones, but not many. And then you have Arthur. Now Arthur is a very social rabbit. Arthur loves pine cones. He takes pine cones, he gets a little bit of wool on them, you might notice that. And just lots of stuff stuck to him. So when they get like that, we just take him out of the pen. Hi, Arthur. He has some pine cones. Here's one down here you can barely see. And he has another one right here you can, underneath you can barely see. And he has pine cones in his little hut. So we have a box of pine cones up here. These are just all open pine cones that we have. And Arthur loves these. He loves to chew on them. Take out the old one. He has some hay stuck to him. Arthur, what do you think of your pine cones? That's as simple as it is for finding pine cones for our rabbits. Easy, affordable. And of course, if you don't have pine cones, you can see hanging in each of the rabbits' pens, we also keep these little dangle toys. They're specifically made for rabbits. That one has a little bit of chewing on it, on the end, the right end. You can barely see because the bunnies do chew on it. Here's the little ones. They have one as well hanging. Everyone's waiting for breakfast. So we'll go ahead and make sure to feed everyone breakfast, give them their treats. Looks like Carl didn't do too much chewing on his. Sometimes some rabbits like these, the actual hanging toys, more than others. What do you think, Carl? Do you prefer pine cones or hanging treats? He's not saying. There we go. Thanks for sharing this quiet morning with us. Hopefully you learned quite a bit about using pine cones as an inexpensive alternative to toys. And we hope you guys have a great day.